you just reminded me in the commercial break, we have done comedy together, have we not?
Yes, sir. We have a storied past.
We did. Did you know this, Brockman, that I did comedy with Jack McBrayer?
No, when was that?
Okay, so now this had to be about 10 years ago, right?
Oh, at least. I would say 2005, maybe.
Okay, so a long time ago.
Yes, sir.
Here in Los Angeles,
Yes.
and it was improv comedy, was it not?
Yes, it was. Improvisational comedy. You were an incredible asset,
No,
sir.
have I ever been called an incredible asset before in the 4-year history of this program?
Let me go back and think for a second.
No, so it was in
incredible
the Improv Olympic
Yes.
West. Yeah, I've been called an et before. So there I was on the stage. It was the famed Armando show here in Los Angeles, California.
That is correct.
Where, again, it was just go up there and act out something from my past, my own past.
True. You would share a true story
Right.
from your past, and then the group of improvisers would create scenes based on your stories.
Right, and then
hopefully respectfully. and
I
not-
remember it was Tim Meadows, I think, was up
Yes,
there too.
absolutely.
Now it's all coming back to me.
There you go.
Man, there's nothing more from what I have done in my career, if you will, or life, nothing is more frightening than stand-up comedy or improv comedy like that.
I do understand the challenge it could create, but A, you are natural, and B, I think if
thank you.
people take a bit of a deep dive, they'll see it's not nearly as scary. as they
Okay,
think.
so how did you get involved in it?
My background, I started in Chicago right after college, the Second City, Improv Olympic, or the big comedy theaters there. And it was one of those things where once I saw it,
Yes.
then I was like, oh, this is what I want to do.
Right.
And so I got inspired, started taking the classes, got hired, got to tour,
And then you got to go around the country.
got to go around the country.
Now, I've spent time in Chicago.
Yes.
I must say, Jack, you don't sound like somebody from Chicago.
South Side.
Okay. The south side of the United States. Is that where are you from originally?
I'm from Georgia.
You're from Georgia. So how'd you get to Chicago? How did that happen?
Well, I went to college in Indiana just to try something new.
Okay.
And then after college, I knew I wanted to try a big city,
Right.
but I didn't necessarily want to go back to Atlanta.
Right.
So then I started exploring, and it was between like St. Louis or Louisville, but then I chose Chicago.
Then you chose Chicago, and which is, so you did you do Second City there? Is that
I
what you
did.
did?
That's where I met Tina Fey. I mean, it's quite a list of alumni who came through.
Yeah, okay, so drop names. Let's do it. Who was there at Second City with you?
Adam McKay was there when I first started. Tina Fey, Rachel Dratch, Scott Adsit, who performed with me on 30 Rock.
Yes,
sir.
exactly.
John Glazer, so many of the writers for Conan O'Brien,
John
Stephen Colbert.
Glazer, I did stand-up with at Michigan.
You did?
Yeah, he's a Michigan guy.
I did know that. I didn't know about that.
I did stand-up with John Glazer. I did.
And lived to tell
And
about
I've
it.
lived to tell you to your face, Jack McBrayer, right here on the show.
I don't know if I believe it.
So is that when Tina's Faye put 30 Rock together, is that the connection?
Yes, sir. I had known her and her husband. Her husband was my director at Second City, so I'd known them since the mid-'90s.
Okay.
And when it came time for her to develop 30 Rock, I think she definitely had me in mind. I still had to audition, but she had me in mind.
For the Page role,
Yes, sir.
obviously.
Yes, sir.
How much fun was that to do?
It changed my life. It changed my life. I probably would not be in Wreck-It Ralph or Ralph Breaks the Internet if it weren't for 30 Rock. So I owe Tina Fey a lot.
What's your favorite episode of 30 Rock?
Oh, geez.
We only ask the tough questions here, Jack.
Boy, this is too hot for TV.
Well, good thing we're on the radio too, then.
Touche. There was one episode where I got to perform with my comedy hero, Tim Conway. And I got to spend the entire episode with him and then just pick his brain, listen to his stories. And that was the icing on the cake.
From the old Carol Burnett show.
I love him like nobody else.
That's your comedy inspiration?
Tim Conway, Don Knotts. Yes, sir.
I could see a lot of the Don Knotts in you, Jack.
Yeah, the chin line.
I could see
The strong jawline.
I could see the strong jawline. Exactly. So who's the one? Because Tim Conway, the best parts of the Carol Burnett show was when they would start laughing.
Absolutely.
Okay, when they'd break up,
Yeah.
So who's the one that breaks you up in the history of you doing what you've done that
Well,
made you laugh the easiest?
Maybe accidentally Tracy Morgan. Bless his heart. But you'll be doing a scene with him and you will get the giggles. Because some days just take a little longer.
Right. With Tracy.
But Yeah, other than that, the shows like that were such an inspiration for what I wanted to get into. Ensembles, working together, playing well with each other. I like
Right.
that.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.